Lesson 5, Introduction to Government. Let's begin by asking, what is government? What does it do? We do know that government receives a lot of criticism these days, and a lot of people don't understand what government actually is. It seems to be a faceless entity, an evil thing that causes harm, takes away our freedoms and liberties, causes problems. But what is government? Government is simply the ruling authority for a community. It has the power to make and enforce laws for its members. It can make it possible for people to live together peacefully and productively. Governments do lots of things. They have 4 main functions. Government keeps order. They keep order, provide security. They do so by making laws to prevent conflicts among people and also to settle conflicts that certainly do arise. So government keeps order. Government provides security. They set up armed forces, military, and other agencies to defend citizens and their land from enemies. So governments keep order. They provide security. They provide services, oftentimes services that would not be available without cooperation and coordination on a large scale. These services keep the public healthy and safe, and oftentimes these services are taken for granted by the public at large. Many times the public does not even know the services provided by the government. Let's take a look at something that was viewed recently on a cable news channel. An individual stood up at a town hall meeting in which his elected official, part of government, was holding to take questions. This angry citizen stood up and he screamed, he yelled at the elected official, "Get the government out of my life." After he screamed and yelled at the elected official, the town hall audience applauded wildly. What I would have liked to have asked the gentleman were these questions. Does he understand the services that government provides? Did he flush the toilet this morning? That's government in your life. What about getting a drink of clean water from the water faucet? That's government in your life. Did he put out the garbage to be picked up? That's government in your life. Did you put out the trash to be recycled? That's government in your life. Did you send your youngest child off to public school to ride the school bus? That's government in your life. On his way to the grocery store, did he drive on clean, safe roads? Government in your life. Do you see a policeman policing the streets on your way to the store? Government in your life. Did you purchase fresh meat from the grocery store? Meat marked by the USDA as satisfaction guaranteed? That's government in your life. Did you check out the nutrition labels on your food items before purchasing? Nutrition facts. That's government in your life. On your way home, did you stop at the pharmacy and pick up your prescription drugs? Government in your life. Did you not buy that CD for your youngest child because of the parental advisory sticker? Government in your life. Did the mail arrive? Government in your life. Did your mother's Social Security check arrive on time? Government in your life. Did your eldest son pay for his college tuition with low-interest loans? That's government in your life. What about signing up your son to play in a recreation basketball league? Government in your life. Did you go to the park afterwards? Government in your life. Did you ride your bike along the greenway to get some exercise? Government in your life. Did you breathe in clean air as you raked the leaves out in the yard? Government in your life. Did you return to Walmart your recalled Durabrand DVD player because of a fire hazard? Well, that's government in your life. Did you watch the News Hour with Jim Lerner on PBS? Government in your life. Did you get the latest tropical update on Tropical Storm Jimena? In fact, we just have a hurricane developing, hitting the Gulf Coast. Did you get information on that? That's government in your life. Did you call 911 when your neighbor's party got a little too wild and a little out of hand? That's government in your life. Did you finally go to bed that night, sir? The man standing up screaming about trying to get government out of his life. And did he dream about how much better his life would be if only he could get the government out of his life? See, these are just examples of services that government provides. Services at all levels. We have 3 levels of government in our system. We have a federal government, a state government, and a local government. These 3 levels of government share powers and responsibilities. Let's go back and take a look at these services provided by government and try to identify the level of government that specifically provides those services. So we're going to go back to these services. There's our man there screaming at his elected official to get government out of his life. He doesn't like government. Everyone applauds because people have been conditioned to not like government. Okay, flushing the toilet this morning. That would be sewage, which is the sewage system, which is provided by local government. That's local government. The water supply that people drink out of the faucets, that too is local government. Garbage collection, local government. Recycling, local government. Public schools. This would be a combination of both state and local governments. State and local. We have a state board of public instruction, but we also have the Wake County Board of Education. So they share education needs, providing those in our state. So it's state and local. Roads would be all 3 levels of government. We have interstate highways maintained by the federal government, but we also have state roads and local streets. So all 3 levels for roads. Police would also all be 3 levels. The FBI enforces federal laws and goes after federal criminals. The State Patrol and the SBI, the State Bureau of Investigation. And then you have the local police. So that would be all 3 levels of government for law enforcement. The federal government is charged with the responsibility of making sure your meat is safe through the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA. not spoiled. So that's a federal government responsibility, inspecting meat packing plants and those procedures and processes. Nutrition facts, again, the federal government, national law that requires labeling. The federal government also for our drugs and our medicines. They're responsible for making sure they are safe. This is a federal law as well. The federal government, entertainment people, and music, making sure that parents are aware of explicit lyrics contained in the songs. The mail is federal government. That's federal. Social Security would be federal government as well. Federal. Low-interest college loans would also be a federal program. That would be federal. Recreation Basketball League would be local government. Parks would be all levels. Actually, you have national parks like Yellowstone. Then you have state parks. And then you have local parks. Bond Park. We have a state park out in Cary as well. 3 levels. Greenways would be local government. Clean Air, the Clean Air Act. That's a federal law, federal government. Recalling hazardous or dangerous products would be definitely federal government. PBS is supported in part, not all, but in part by the federal government. And National Weather Service, this is federal government as well. My father worked for the National Weather Service. 9/11 would be local. That would be local government, of course. All right. So the fourth function of government is to make policy. So they keep order, provide security, provide services, and make policy. A course of government action to achieve community goals. You know, most Americans agree on our goals as Americans. Most Americans want a prosperous economy, strong economic growth, plenty of job opportunities, strong national defense that keeps our country safe, a well-educated citizenry that is prepared and trained for the jobs of the present and the future, affordable health care that works for all Americans, clean parks that provide recreational activities. You know, we agree on our goals. Where we disagree is on how to achieve these goals, and that's where the policies come in. What are the best policies to achieve these goals? You know, we need to learn to be civil towards each other and disagree on policy without being disagreeable. There are 2 types of policies that governments make to achieve goals. One is domestic, the other would be foreign. Domestic policy is everything the government does for its citizens within this country, here at home. These are national laws and federal government programs. Also, they could be state and local programs, state laws. Then they have what's called foreign policy. This is a responsibility of the federal government, foreign policy. Everything the government does in dealing with other countries. Foreign aid, executive agreements, diplomatic relations, trade sanctions, wars. We'll be discussing these policies, debating these policies all throughout this course. Governments create a budget, and their budget also often reflects policy decisions. A budget's a plan for collecting and spending money, and we'll certainly break down the federal government budget. So, in conclusion, to sum up, governments keep order, provide security, provide services, and guides the community through establishing policy. And governments do a lot. And we'll be studying what our government does, how our government works throughout this course.